everyone, this is Sarah, and today's video I'm going to show you how to make these cute and spooky goodie bags. This is Jack, this is Boo, and this is Frank, and they're so much fun to make and super easy goodie bags. You can fill them with goodies, you can stuff them and put them on your mantle, or use them for all kinds of different decorations. They're just super fun and super easy to make. Now this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. What you're going to need to make a goodie bag like these is Red Heart Super Saver yarns. And I've decided to go with Red Heart Super Saver because they do wash up and dry very nicely, just in case you happen to get some sticky sweets inside your goodie bags. I'm going to be making one that looks like the pumpkin that I showed you at the beginning of the video. I'm going to do the body portion of the pumpkin in orange, and I'm going to do the top in green, and then I'm going to do the eyes and the mouth in this yellow, so it looks like a happy pumpkin. Like I said, Red Heart Super Saver, which is a medium weight number 4 yarn. Now you don't have to use Red Heart Super Saver. You can use any medium weight number 4 yarn that you want to. We're going to be stitching today with our eye hook. And this eye hook is a 5.25 millimeter crochet hook. If your eye hook is a 5.50 millimeter, that will work just fine also. You just may need to adjust your tension just a little bit, but I don't think that's going to make too big of a deal when you're making a bag like this. You're going to need a needle for weaving in ends and sewing on the eyes, and the mouth of course, and then you'll need a pair of scissors. We're going to start making our bag at the bottom and working our way up in rounds. We're going to begin with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 5 chains. We'll pull this tail through that loop and snug that down. We'll make that little stay knot that we do. We'll go in and we'll pull up a loop and make a little chain 1 just to get us on the top of our circle. Now we're going to stitch 10 half double crochets in this chain 5 loop. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull that loop through all 3 of those loops. All right, that's a half double crochet. And we're going to stitch 10 right in that chain 5 loop that we made. And if you'll notice, as I'm stitching my half double crochets, I'm stitching over that tail of yarn, and that's going to make it so we can just gently pull that tail of yarn and close that hole in the bottom of our bag because we don't want our goodies to slip out. All right, let me see how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to squish those around so we can get 4 more in there. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so there's 10 half double crochets. We're going to go to that first half double crochet and join with a slip stitch. And then chain 1. Now at this point we're going to turn it over and we're going to gently pull on that string, and you'll notice that the hole closes. We'll come back in and finish weaving that in later. But row 1 will look like this: 10 half double crochets around. For row 2, we're going to stitch 2 half double crochets and each of the half double crochets around. Now the whole bag is stitched in half double crochets, and that's because we want the stitches to be short and compact so that our goodies don't fall out. Alright, so we'll go to the first stitch and stitch 2 half double crochets. Now we'll go to the next stitch and stitch 2 half double crochets. We have 10 half double crochets and we're stitching 2 in each one, so that's going to give us 20 half double crochets. All right, let's count, make sure we've made enough stitches. Here's our first two, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. That makes sense since I have one more stitch because we want 20 half double crochets. We're going to join to the first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. And again, the chain 1 on every row does not count as a stitch. And this is the way row 2 should look. All right, let's do row 3. So for row 3, we're going to stitch 2 half double crochets in this first half double crochet. And then we'll stitch 1 half double crochet in the next. And that's the way row 3 will work. 2 half double crochets in the next stitch and 1 half double crochet in the next. So we're doing 2 and 1. 2 half double crochets in the next stitch and 1 half double crochet in the next. 2 and 1, working all the way around till we get back to that first half double crochet. There we go, 2 and 1, 2 and 1. Now, we had 10 half double crochets on our first row, 20 on our second row, and we'll have 30 on our third row. So just to repeat, 2 half double crochets in the next stitch and 1 half double crochet in the next. Repeat all the way around till we get back to our first half double crochet. I completed row 3, stitching 2 and 1, 2 and 1 all the way around. I'm going to join to the top of my first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're ready to do row 4. And on row 4, we're going to stitch 1 half double crochet in the first 2 and then 2 in the next. All right, so 1 half double crochet in the first 2 half double crochets and then 2 half double crochets in the next. So basically we're doing 2 and 2. 1 half double crochet in the next 2 and then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. And we'll repeat this all the way around. One half double crochet in the next 2 stitches and then 2 half double crochets in the next, working all the way around, and then we'll join back here to our first half double crochet. So I completed the 4th row, and you should have 40 half double crochets for the 4th row. We're going to join to our first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. All right, now for row 5, we're going to stitch 1 half double crochet in the first 3 stitches. And then we're going to stitch 2 half double crochets in the next. And that's the way the pattern for row 5 will work. We're going to stitch 1 half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then we'll stitch 2 half double crochets together. 1 half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. That's the way row 5 will work. And we'll stitch that all the way around, and we'll join back to our first half double crochet. So just to repeat, 1 half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, working all the way around, and then we'll join to that first half double crochet. I completed row 5. I joined to my first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chained 1. Now we're not going to do any more increasing. This is the bottom of our bag, and it makes a nice tight bag, you can see, so your goodies won't come out through the holes. The holes are nice and small. And so the remainder of our project, you're going to have the same amount of stitch counts, or same amount of stitches. So because our row 5 here had 50 half double crochets, that's all the more stitches you'll have on every row. And so what we're going to do for row 6 is we're just going to place 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches around. No increases or anything. Just 1 half double crochet in each of the half double crochets around, and then we'll once again join to our first half double crochet. And you'll begin to notice, because we're not doing any more increases, that the sides of the bag will begin to come up. And that's exactly what we want it to do. So just to repeat, for row 6, we're stitching 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet around. I completed row 6, 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet around. I joined to my first half double crochet and chained 1. And so what we're going to do for the next 12 rows is repeat row 6. 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, join to the first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1, and then repeat 1 half double crochet again, and we'll repeat row 6 for 12 rows. So I have completed my 12 rows, which will bring us up through row 18 on our bag. And if you want your bag to be longer, because remember, the length of the bag is about 10 inches. And if you want your bag to be longer, you can add more rows here before we add the row for the drawstring. All right, I'm going to be changing colors here. Now on the ghost, I left the top the same color. And on Mr. Frankie here, I changed to the black. And that's what I'm going to do with the green on the pumpkin. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. I'm going to bring the green in just to sort of represent the top of the pumpkin. Strings out of the way there. And what we're going to be doing for, this is row 19, is making the holes for the drawstrings. And so what we'll do is we'll stitch a half double crochet in the first stitch, and then we'll chain 1. We'll skip the next stitch and then half double crochet in the next. And this is going to leave the little hole so that we can put our drawstring through. Chain 1, skip 1, and half double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, and half double crochet in the next stitch. And see how it's leaving those holes so that we can put our drawstring through there to make it easier for our drawstring bag to work. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, half double crochet in the next. And we'll do this all the way around our bag, and then join back to that first half double crochet. See how that looks? I worked my way all the way around my bag. Here's my last chain 1. I'm going to join to the first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. And again, the chain 1 doesn't count on as a stitch on this bag. All right, so I'm going to place a half double crochet in the half double crochet, and then I'm going to place a half double crochet in that chain 1 space. Half double crochet in the half double crochet, then a half double crochet in the chain 1 space. And we'll do this all the way around just to give us a solid row of half double crochets. Some more yarn here. So half double crochet in the chain 1 space and half double crochet in the half double crochet. And see how that left those holes, and that's where we're going to put our drawstring through. All right, so just to repeat, you know I like to repeat to make sure you understand what I'm doing. Half double crochet in the chain 1 space, half double crochet in the half double crochet, working all the way around this row. Then we'll join to the first half double crochet when we get around. And we're making a nice even row of half double crochets. So I worked my way all the way around, stitching half double crochet in the half double crochet and half double crochet in the chain 1 space. I'm going to join to that first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. And this is our last row on the bag. And all we're going to do is just place a half double crochet in each half double crochet around. There we go. Kind of got stuck on a string there, which happens with all yarns. Sometimes they're splitty, sometimes they're not. All right, so all I'm doing is stitching 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet around. Then we'll join to the first half double crochet, and then we'll tie off and weave in our ends, and we'll finish up with our drawstring and then our face on our pumpkin. I completed that last row of half double crochets. I'm going to join to the first half double crochet with a slip stitch. Cut my yarn and tie off. I'm going to pull that to the back so it's out of the way. And we need to weave these ends in. We'll do that in just a little bit. What I want to show you next is how to do the drawstrings. Let me set that aside. And what you'll do is just chain about 60 or more chains. And I want you to make sure you leave yourself a long tail at the beginning so that we can tie the two ends together. So we're just going to chain 60 or more, depending on how long you want it. There we go. 60 or more chains. I chained the amount of chains that I need. Cut our yarn and tie off. Now, I like my drawstrings to be over on the side. You might like yours in the middle. It's up to you where you want your drawstrings to pull from. I like mine over on the side. And so what I do is I take my crochet hook and I go backwards and pull my string through. Okay, I'm going to leave a little bit there as we go. And then again, I go backwards. For some reason, I think it just makes it a little bit easier to get through those holes. All right, and then I put it on my hook and I pull it through. Turn it over and do the same thing. Alrighty, just a few more. Alright, so there's my drawstring. I'm going to put my two ends together and just tie them. Give it a nice good pull, and then I'm going to tie it again. Just whipping them through together. Another good pull. And I usually like to do 3. I don't know why. It's just what I do. I like to do 3 good knots. Give it a good hard pull and then clip it. And then I leave it. I don't clip it up tight. I just leave those strings. You can clip it up tight if you want to. And that's how the drawstring works. Now this is the back of mine and this is the front. And my drawstring is over on the side. And that makes a fun bag. But let's put a face on it so it really looks like a jack-o'-lantern. We're going to make a similar face as this one. We're going to make 2 round eyes and a smile. All right. So we'll start with our slip knot. We'll chain 3, and then we're going to place 10 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook. And this will be a tight fit. 1, 5, 6 and 7, All right, let me count, make sure I've got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we're going to join to our first half double crochet with a slip stitch. We're going to tie off, but we're going to leave ourselves a little bit of yarn so that we can sew it onto the pumpkin face. And before we do that, we need to close the hole in the center. So I've turned it over, and I'm just going to stitch around those stitches. And close up that hole. And just gently pull that in. And then we'll go ahead and weave that in so it doesn't come out. We don't want our eye opening back up, right? All right, let's go ahead and cut that. And now we have to decide how we want to do our face. And I like my Halloween things to be just a little bit silly. I don't really care for spooky things. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it on there. Make sure we got enough room from the bottom because we're going to put a smile. And we just stitch around the outside of that eye. And one thing to remember is you don't want to stitch it too tightly because this is going to get played with, and so you want to be able for that eye to have just a little bit of give to it. And you can see I go up and then I come back and stitch. I don't know if there's a technical name for that, but that's the way I do it. And I go around the eye until I'm out of yarn. And then I'll go right up in that center. And I'll stitch a few stitches just so that the eye doesn't poke up too much. And then we'll go to the inside and weave that in. And I'll just go around it again on the back. There we go. And we can tie that off. All right, so there's one of the eyes on our pumpkin. I need to do another eye, and then I'll show you how to make the smile. Got my other eye attached. And now we're going to do the smile. Now I've got quite a bit of yarn here on my needle. I always put too much. I always put about 24 inches. It's probably more than I need, but I always like to have more so I don't have to add later. And what I want to do is I want to center the smile between the eyes. And so I'm going to come from underneath. And something to remember when you're coming up, we're going to leave a tail, but make sure you go through a stitch, not through the holes, or you'll lose your stitches in the holes. All right? So I'm just going to kind of go at down and then go at a slant. So I want my smile to slant over. And then I'm going to come right up in that same place. And I'm still trying to eyeball to make sure everything's even. And sometimes I like to make a crooked smile. Sometimes I like to make a straight smile. I don't really like where that came up, so I'm going to come back. There we go. Because we want to try to make it even. All right, so I'm going to go over a little more, just like that. There is no set place where to put your smile. It's up to you. And then I'm going to make that little cross thing that goes across the top of the smile. And then what I usually do is just take a look at it. Do I like it? Is that a little too slanted? I don't mind. I think it's cute. And then what I'll do is I'll go back over. I'm going to go back under here because I want to double up on that. There we go. Put this back over here so you can see it. So if I'm satisfied with how I did my smile, I'll just go back over it. So that I have 2 rows of stitching. So it's thicker, I guess you would say. There we go. I don't really like the way that's looking, so I am going to go that way. I keep pulling it away, don't I? I'm sorry. But basically what I'm doing is I'm doubling up on the stitches so that the mouth's just a little bit thicker. But I'm not going in the exact same places that I went to begin with. Okay, so like here, I'm going to go down here and over here. Let's see, I think I'll bring this one that way. Now you can work out all the stitches and exactly where you want to place them for your smile if you want to, or you can just wing it like I do. And I kind of like it. He's a little bit cockeyed over here, but I kind of like that, you know, and so I think it turned out really cute. I've got more yarn left, and so I'm just going to go to the back. I'm going to weave this over where I started. And I'm just going to take those 2 ends and tie a little knot. Now, if you want to add a little bit of fray check on there, you can. And you know I always tie 3 knots. Or you can go ahead and weave that in. I just like to tie a knot on that. That just keeps the smile from going places. All right, now that's our silly pumpkin smile. And I think he turned out really cute. So here's the finished pumpkin goodie bag. This is Jack. This is Frank, because he looks like Frankenstein. And this is Boo, because he's a ghost. You can make all 3 of these goodie bags from this one pattern. And the truth is, you can change it up however you want to. Add buttons, ribbons, bows, whatever. And they also make great stuffies. You can fill them with goodies, or you can stuff them and set them up as decorations. And just have some fun with this pattern.